Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
DJ PK and Steve Cleveland is checking in, a former BYU basketball coach, former Fresno State coach. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, fellas.
It's the New York Knickerbockers and the San Antonio Spurs. Steve, what do you expect? What do you think? Give us some genius. What do you got?
You know, it's interesting because the Knicks right now are going to do something. If they can win here and get where they need to be, everything is historically dominant. It's a playoff winning streak, 11-game winning streak, sweeping both the Sixers, though the Sixers didn't have everyone there, and the Cavs. But they do bring a really deep front court, and they have size. And we'll have to see. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, along with Mitch Robinson. You know what? There are good things there. You know, and I think we're kind of looking at it more of a Wemby era right now. Defensive Player of the Year, kind of carried the Spurs and had a grueling 7-game series against OKC, the defending NBA champs. And really what's happening here, the goal is hopes that this young superstar can be the best player on the floor. 4 games, to secure the title. So it begins with San Antonio Spurs. Knicks are going to be the underdogs. It's funny. I don't really have a best pick for myself. I kind of like the idea that the Knicks can be relevant again. And it's been a long time since they've been relevant. And there's nothing against San Antonio, but I'd like to see the underdogs find a way to win this thing and go from there.
We talk about how you've got to be big, you've got to have size. Well, Jalen Brunson doesn't have that, but yet he continues to succeed. And one of my theories, and I wanted to run by you, like you take a guy like Paul George, he was probably a short guy at some point, and then he continued to grow, and then he blows up, right? Well, Jalen Brunson was probably short his whole life. And so no matter what level he's playing at, he's one of the smaller guys. And so he's got to find a way to utilize his skills. And in a sense, man, he must have had to work so hard to be able to find ways to be successful, probably even at the high school level, the AAU level, certainly in college at Villanova. And at the pro level, he was doubted every step of the way. And yet he continues to do that. It's an amazing story to me that he is where he is, given the fact that human beings have grown so much. And, we're used to the 6'6", 6'7" dudes just dominating. Wemby 7'4". My gosh, the list goes on and on. So I'm just so impressed with him. And I'm wondering if you think that the fact that he was short and never did grow actually became an advantage, because if he was going to succeed, he needed to find ways that were different than just simply raw, natural athletic ability.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, and I looked at these finals, and, it's we know what the narrative is, but the Knicks are rested. They're going to play the San Antonio Spurs, who has a talent edge, I think, with their size and their ability. But the Knicks are playing for history here, and they're riding a historically dominant 11-game playoff winning streak after, sweeping both the Sixers and Cavs. And beating the Sixers really doesn't mean much because they weren't there in full strength. But there is a deep front court. They have size. Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, along with Mitch Robinson. I guess he's got a broken pinky. Hope that'll be okay. But I think that I like the Knicks here. And maybe it's just because, that's who I'm pulling for, because it's been a long time, 50 years, and let's get this done. So that's what I'm hoping happens. I know this is the Wemby era, and he carried the Spurs all year, and certainly he's a superstar for a long time coming. But the Knicks are the underdogs, and let's get this on, and let's see it happen right in front of us.
Do you think the shot distribution changes? Danny Ainge, PK's got the great quote. I don't remember exactly the situation you got it in. FGA's, baby.
It was the alumni game between Utah and BYU.
Okay, there was. FGA is the most important stat. Yeah. So he's being funny.
I didn't hear you.
But
Share that with me again.
He was joking. They used to play BYU. Utah would play an alumni game, get guys come in the summer. And Ainge was there. I don't even remember if he was playing, but I was talking to him. I mean, he might have been. I can't remember. And he was just saying that, stats. We get so excited about stats, but the stat as a player he cared about most was FGAs.
Yeah.
Field goals attempted. That's what he wanted. So that was his. Yep. That was his joking way of saying he was going to bomb it.
Let him fly, baby.
And he was pretty good at it too.
So Knicks, I just want to say the Knicks, Brunson takes in the playoffs during this big win streak, Brunson's taken 20 shots per game, and the next four guys are all at 10 or 11 shots a game. Given the Wemby, and is Brunson going to be taking 20 shots a game, or are these other guys going to get more shots, and then do they come through? Because they've been shooting at a much better clip than Brunson.
Yes. Well, I don't disagree with you there, but I'm kind of looking at this thing from the perspective of history could be made here, and they do have an 11-game playoff winning streak, and they didn't really beat anybody real good to get there, but the Cavs were competitive, the Sixers had issues, but when you could bring a deep front court and have size, like Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby and Mitch Robinson, it puts you in a situation where you do have length. And yes, are they going to be put in situations that maybe they've not been in before? But I think this New York team is, it's the biggest market in the world. They're searching for their first championship in over 50 years. They're running, as we mentioned before, 11-game winning streak, deep front court with the bigs. And they play suffocating defense. And what do we always say? Defense wins what? Championships. And so I'm going to ride that, and I'm going to follow that. And they do have a suffocating defense. They forced 21 turnovers and 41% team defense, which tells you that that's an important part of the Knicks and who they are and what they've done. They did win that They won the NBA Cup title in 2026. And they were able to slow Wemby down. I know that's not, where we are right now, but still, it's out there, and there's enough there to just get me to be persuaded that this is going to be an upset. And in the Knicks' mind, they don't think it's an upset, but it is an upset if they were to, hang on to that big front court and find ways to guard and suffocating defense. I think it was 21 turnovers is what they're forcing every game, and 41% team defense. So the Knicks are there. They've been there, and I don't know that the NBA Cup title means anything, but the bottom line is their whole goal has to be slowing Wemby down. And if they can do that, get Wemby in foul trouble, anything that they can do to have an advantage, which a lot of people feel like Wemby is the advantage, but we'll see how it plays out. But those are my thoughts on that.
The all-new Tropical Butterfly Refresher is now at Starbucks. Dive into juicy guava and passion fruit flavors, with mango pineapple popping pearls bursting in every sip. Ice cold, instantly refreshing, and impossible to put down. Made for summer, only at Starbucks.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So
What's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
In the 2024-25 college basketball season, we knew that the Jazz were going to not be good and have potential for a high pick, right? They ended up taking fifth, Ace Bailey. So consequently, in order to be more versed on Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, because we knew that they were going to be going very high, I ended up watching a lot of Rutgers basketball. It fit well with the time difference, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the winter. I got nothing else to do, and so why not use it for work? So I ended up watching Rutgers basketball, probably 20 games, watching those two to get a feel for them.
Yeah.
And so, I saw Dylan Harper play a lot, and Ace Bailey for that matter. And now we're watching the Spurs go, and you see Dylan Harper. He's an emerging player. He's a very nice player, right? And I think he has a chance to be really good. But as I watch him, I was texting somebody with the Jazz about this the other night as I was watching, I think, and get your thought on it, is that when I compare Dylan Harper, who I'm very high on, and was the number 2 pick, I think Darren Peterson can be better. And there's, a decent chance, if not odds-on favorite, that the Jazz have that opportunity to take Darren Peterson. And we talked about, I'm covering the NCAA tournament in Portland. It is at least an hour after the Cougars lose, and Kevin Young has done all of his podium interviews, and he comes down the hall. There's a couple other guys, a couple of the KSL guys and myself are waiting for him, and he stops, and he starts talking to us, and he says, I view shooting as the holy grail in basketball, and it just screamed at me. And I look at Darren Peterson, I look at Derek Harper, or Dylan Harper. I think Peterson is better. So if it comes down to that, I'm all for it. Compare those two players and be with the idea of shooting in Kevin Young's mind being the holy grail.
Well, I couldn't agree more. And that's the, whether it's in professional or collegiate basketball, teams who consistently win and teams who, have an advantage are the teams that, number one, have great coaches who can, first and foremost, get their guys knowing and understanding what their talent is and how they can help their teams. And when it comes down to it, you look at AJ and Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, these are all guys that can shoot. And as it was mentioned before, the Holy Grail. I think Peterson is the most talented. He's got a 5.25 wingspan. He's a shot maker. We've talked about that. He's averaging 20 a game and 38% from the three. Whether he can create shots at that size is still probably unknown. But he in my mind, they can't go wrong. They can't go wrong with Peterson. I just think he has such an upside in the fact that he is a shot maker, and that he shoots 38% from the three and 49% from the field goal. And, I'll keep going back, can he create shots? I think anybody at 6'11" or 7 foot, whatever, however tall he is, he changes the game. And in some ways, a lot like Wemby, in that you're a shot maker. You can create shots. He's hard to guard. I mean, when you're guarding a guy 6'11", 7 foot, who not only can shoot the ball from the perimeter and shoot the three, but has the ability to really have a presence defensively with that size. And I know the NBA is very different than the collegiate game, but having as many bigs as you can on the floor that can pass and shoot and defend, I think Peterson's the guy. He's a better fit with the Jazz, and I don't know that Boozer will become part of this and what will happen, but I like that, and we'll see how it plays out, and if there's trades involved. But if the Jazz can get Peterson at that second spot, if AJ is, he's the number one guy, I don't know how to play out. I think it's a great win. I think it's a great win for the Jazz.
Do you have any theory on why number 2 picks tend to be pretty disappointing? The shortage of everything NBA titles, NBA finals, best player on the team, all-stars, Olympians, 20-point scores, whatever you want. We went over the list of the past 25, and it's past 25 years, the number 2 picks. It's pretty disappointing.
Man, I'm not sure I have an answer to that, but here's just a couple of thoughts. That those are the facts, and things can change and things can happen, and if it's that many years, there is, it tells you how good the number 1 picks are, and but I think that whether it's Peterson, AJ, Boozer, I think all of those players are going to have an impact no matter where they're picked. And but that is an interesting statistic that I've never even thought about or heard. And you got 3 franchise cornerstone guys, and I mean, maybe, I don't know, because I haven't talked to Austin or Danny about this, but in my mind, I think Derek Peterson may have, now he had injury troubles and there was maybe some psychology issues, but if he's healthy and he can do those things, there's a big difference between 7 foot and a 6'8" or a 6'7" AJ. And AJ, I think, is everybody's dream. I mean, he's just so talented, and we hear all the pundits and what they have to say. But I think Peterson might be the most talented if he can stay healthy. I mean, he's got big wingspan, he can make shots, and he can shoot the 3, which he stretches guys. And I've never seen him. I haven't watched enough film on him to know if he's breaking guys down, But in that league, there's a lot of bigs. And so it's not like you have to worry about a 6'7" guy that's going to zip by somebody. Everybody's 6'7", 6'9", 7 foot, 7'1". So I think right now going into this thing, that Peterson is the most talented because of those things. And I guess I don't know enough about him, and I haven't watched enough tape to know how creative he is. But we all watched his games, and I mean, he stretches the floor. He makes defenses really, they have to keep him honest. I mean, Peterson can do that, and a lot of people feel like he's the most talented guy in this draft, and maybe, as I said before, a better fit for the Jazz than AJ or Boozer or whomever.
I think he is the best fit. That doesn't necessarily mean you take him, though. You take the best player, and you go from there. And if you have to move guys, so be it. But there's no question if you just went on fit. I watched him a ton, and with the advent of these all-star games and televised games at the high school level, you get to see these kids, these real elite kids, well before they actually get to college, because they're available and the tape is available. And I'm thinking that there's no question he's pure. He's smooth, man. He just he has a way. And he's you see a smooth player, somebody who's always on balance and never looks awkward. That's this kid. And I think that one of the things that isn't really talked about is that his ability to distribute, particularly at the pro level, when you've got guys like Jaren Jackson, Market, and George. These guys, I can take them over to the arena right now, turn out the lights, and they shoot 50%. I mean, they are pure shooters. And so you got somebody who, in college, the teammates aren't as good. I think one of the things that's not talked about a lot with him is his ability to distribute, because he can break you down. And from the times I've seen him, he is a willing passer, and I think that's something to be excited about. Yeah,
I love that, being a willing passer, which tells you immediately already he's a good teammate, and that he's coachable, and that whomever gets him is going to, is going to be lucky. Anybody gets these top 2 or 3 picks, it's going to make their program better and their organization better. So I agree with you, and I'm just going to stay with that. I think he's the best fit, Peterson, for the Jazz. And, and there's an argument can be made about AJ and this and that. And I think they're all both going to be really good pros. But in my mind, if I was picking, I like Peterson, and they can get him.
He's Steve Cleveland. He joins us every week. Steve, thanks for coming on. And we will, when we talk to you again, we'll have a couple games in the books, and we'll have an idea maybe where this is going. Looking forward to it. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right. There's Steve Cleveland, former BYU basketball coach. Steven Johnson, TCU beat writer for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Coming up at 9 o'clock. He'll be at the top of the hour for the spring football tour. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.